Thanks for clicking into the Lazy Bettor Guide's view of the 2022 Kentucky Derby contenders. I'm Roger LeBlanc, and these views of the 2022 Derby prospects are based on my book, The Lazy Bettor's Guide to the Kentucky Derby. You can pick that book up at LazyBettorUSA.com. You can also look at my previous Kentucky Derby previews. I put one out every year, and you can see how successful the parameters in that book have been. Today we're going to take a look at White Abarrio. White Abarrio looks good on paper. He comes into the Kentucky Derby with back-to-back graded stakes wins. He won the Grade 3 Holy Bull Stakes at Gulfstream and followed that with a Grade 1 victory in the Florida Derby, also at Gulfstream Park. Now, in the Holy Bull Stakes, he ended up close to the lead, partly because Simplification, who was projected to be one of the early runners, had some early trouble in the race. The result was the pace of the race came up pretty slow. They hit that 6 furlong mark in about 1:12 and change. So it was an easy pace for White Abarrio to be pressing. And he drew away, had plenty left in the stretch, drew away to win by 4+ lengths. The Florida Derby, things kind of flip-flop pace-wise. Simplification was in that race again. He broke sharply, contested the lead. And you can see that as they go into the backstretch, Simplification's in a pace stool. White Abarrio sitting back there about 5th. And the turn time, the time from the 4 furlong mark to the 6 furlong mark is really fast. Simplification does that in 23 and change. They hit the 6 furlong mark in a really kind of blazing 1:10 and 3/5 seconds. And so at that point, as they're coming around, entering the stretch, Simplification and Papa Cap, who is challenging him on the lead, are both pretty leg weary. White Abarrio is clear on the outside. He comes by pretty easily, and he's extending his lead all the way to the finish. So it was a good setup once again for White Abarrio. You can't really judge a horse too harshly for taking advantages of the circumstances that present themselves in the race, and White Abarrio availed himself very well in both of those situations. So the question is, how does his performance in those races stack up to other prep races, to historical winners of those races, and to the parameters in the Lazy Bettor's Guide to the Kentucky Derby? So let's start with the historical context. His final time in the Florida Derby was 1:50 and 3/5. If you look back at horses who won the Florida Derby and went on to win the Kentucky Derby, they ran much faster. Big Brown was a few full seconds faster than that. Barbaro ran just a shade over 1:49, so he was more than a full second faster than White Abarrio. And Nyquist also 1:49 and a fraction or so was much faster. So the only horse that went on to win the Kentucky Derby after winning the Florida Derby in that slow a time was Orb. And so you could say there's a precedent there for White Abarrio to run that slowly and still do well going to Kentucky. However, there is a big difference. Orb, in his race prior to the Florida Derby, won the Fountain of Youth. And that race was fast in the early pace and fast in the finish. So Orb won a really high-quality race there in the Fountain of Youth. He had an easier time in the Florida Derby, did not have to go all out. But Orb had on his resume, as did Nyquist and Big Brown and Barbaro, fast early, fast late race. White Abarrio does not have that. And so it really does look like White Abarrio, a talented horse, kind of benefited from weak competition this year in Florida and some really favorable circumstances. So we're going to downgrade White Abarrio's chances in the Kentucky Derby, despite the fact that he has won impressively multiple times and in graded stakes races. That's our view. Go to LazyBettorUSA.com for more Kentucky Derby insights and for general handicapping insights. And you can also hit like and subscribe and catch other videos in this series. Thank you for watching.